And that doesn't look horrible.
Okay.
You remember that box? What else? Good.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties here after being gone for what feels like about a month. How's everybody doing today? Hope you are absolutely having a fantastic Monday. Good morning. My name is Brad Varnell. This is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. Today is the Trader Tuesday live stream. It is going to be just me, I believe. I'll double check here real fast and make sure Crypto Bullseye messaged me and said that he's not able to hop on today. I am pretty sure. Where is he? Oh, wait a second. Let me go here. Yeah, so Keith isn't going to be able to be here. Today's going to have to be a quick one anyways. I've got an appointment and I've got some stuff going on with my wife this morning. So I'm going to try to wrap this up in a timely fashion. Probably going to be done in about 30 minutes or so. With that, let's run over to the chat. Guys, last week was a pretty incredible week. It was a really well-needed week. Really got to see some incredible family members that I hadn't seen for a couple of years, some longer, and really had a great time. But have you ever had one of those vacations where when you got back from the vacation, you felt like you needed a vacation from the vacation? Well, that's kind of what this vacation feels like. So it was literally a 17-hour drive to where we were going. And because it was somewhat like out in the wilderness, it didn't make sense to try to fly. We would have still been at an airport that was several hours from the destination. And then we would have had to rent a vehicle, and we wouldn't have been able to have all of our stuff with us because it wasn't hardcore camping. We were in more of like a mobile home with electricity and running water and stuff, but we had to bring our own pots and pans, our own silverware, our own dishes. We had to bring a lot of stuff with us, even though we had the building there. But anyways, I drove 17 hours there and then 17 hours back. Got home last night at about 5 o'clock, I think, in the evening, and it just didn't feel like I had enough time. But after already canceling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week, and then Monday yesterday, I couldn't see going another day without seeing you guys. So I'm glad that I'm here. Looks like the markets are doing good. We got Bitcoin popped up into almost it was 120 grand when I first started the stream. It's a 119,777 right now, but that's still a pretty nice number. If I where I was at, I got very, very like almost no Wi-Fi and very, very little cell service. So I was really like off the grid for the last 10 days. But if I remember correctly, I do think I got a notification. And at one point in time when we kind of drove into this little town to buy some groceries, it looked like Bitcoin had popped all the way up to 122 grand last week sometime. We hit a new all-time high with Bitcoin, so that is awesome. So let me get over here to this screen because I'm tired of looking at myself full screen. But let's go over here to the comments. Mr. Dave P., good morning, brother. Hope you are doing fantastic. Hope I noticed that you've been posting a lot of stuff in the Telegram group. Super, super appreciated. Let me see if I can pull that up here real quick. Go back to all chats and let's see if we can. I got so many groups with infinite crypto. Let's see. Here we go. Probably this one. So Dave P has been in the Telegram group hardcore for the last, since this is July 22nd, showing some different tokens that he is taking a close look at, and showing some tokens that he thinks are worth our attention. So I haven't had as much of a chance, Dave, to take a close look at these, but I very much appreciate the hard work and the help. And I definitely will get an opportunity to hopefully take a closer look at some of these tokens. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We got Vanish Joy. Good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you are doing fantastic. Good to see you. Roger the Alien. Let me see here. Vanish says, what a day. ETH, $400 away from all-time high. What is ETH sitting at? ETH is at $4,475. That is beautiful. So what was ETH's previous all-time high? Around 48, 47, 48? I don't remember exactly what ETH's previous all-time high was. Let's take a quick peek at it here together. Showing it here, at least on CoinGecko. I don't know what exchange this was on, but it's showing it at 4,878. Yeah, that is beautiful. I think we're going to be seeing $5,000, $6,000 ETH in the very near future. And the great news for all of us folks is that ETH is a huge indicator of altcoin season. ETH almost always runs before the altcoins run. So when we were talking about being on the verge of an altcoin season, a couple of weeks ago, when Keith and I were talking about that, I think that everything is coming to fruition. You can see we've got basically just a big sea of green here. A lot of stuff up, massive, like Chainlink up 47% in the last week. It figures the week that I am on vacation is when everything decides to just go absolutely bonkers. Interesting though. That's awesome. Ethereum is looking great. Nelson, good morning. Thanks for being here. Hope you are doing great. Thank you for the welcome back. It is good to be back. We got Mr. Tulsa King. Hey, Tulsa. Sounds like from what I've been hearing, we got a new season of Tulsa King coming out sometime in September. I think it was September 25th or somewhere in that ballpark. So that's awesome. I am looking forward to the next season of Tulsa King. Donnie T, good morning, good morning, good morning. Dave P again. Algorand Army, man. I love the Algorand Army. Algorand is a token that I don't own a whole lot of anymore. I wish I did. I probably should have a bigger position than I do. But when Algorand first came out, it had a wallet, and you literally could just hold your Algorand in that wallet, and you would slowly build up more Algorand. I don't think they do that anymore. I think that mechanism was just around like maybe in their first year or two. Curious for Algorand. Algorand. If we go back, how old of a token is Algorand? So its all-time low was September of 2023. Its all-time high was in June of 19. I'm thinking that it was probably around for a while. June 20th of 2019. I think it had been around for a little bit before it hit those kind of numbers. I remember owning it, buying it, and selling it at, I think it was between about $1 and $2. But yeah, Algorand, I think, is a great token for the long term. I think it's got some sustainability to it, and excited to see what it does for the future. And so if your name is Algorand Army, then I'm assuming you've got a nice chunk of it. And when it does what it's going to do, you're going to be happy, 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 which is awesome. I love it when you guys are winning, even if it's a token I don't own a whole lot of. I'm still rooting for you guys. Pumpcat, good morning. Thanks for being here. Hope you are doing fantastic. We got Valley Forge in the house. We got Lad Lewis. Lad Lewis, good morning. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying. I was talking about the live stream yesterday. Didn't happen because I was driving cross country, so we didn't have a Monday. We didn't have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday last week, and we didn't have a Monday this week. Hey, Mr. Tim, Tim G, how you doing, brother? Hope you are doing fantastic. So with that, guys, let me get this media off of here. And let's go to town on things for just a quick minute or two or three. That's interesting. Oh, I see what I got here. Like, why am I seeing a little bit of my background? Well, I see now. It's because I don't have this. There we go. That's better. So, what do we got going on when it comes to trading? Well, I unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, have just one trade in play right now. It is my polka dot play that I've got a little over $200 in. Right now it's up. It's got $537 in unrealized profit. And it's up a little over 200%. I was able to get into this at $3.35. It's sitting at a little over $4. But I think that once we really start to hit it altcoin season, I think we're going to see this thing rush right up to about an $11, $12 price point. So at $11, we'll be looking at a trade that is worth $5,600 for a $200 trade. If this thing runs back up to half of its all-time high at $25,000 or at $25 polka dot, would be sitting at 16 grand. And I've got $1,290 available because I cashed out my H-bar trade a couple of different times. I ain't going to lie, guys. The second and last and final trade was more by accident. I was on this trip. I wanted to protect my downside a little bit, and I don't even remember the exact amounts, but I went in and I guess I didn't even think I confirmed it. When you hit this button here, you can confirm a take profit price and you can confirm a stop loss price. And I guess I did that on my H-bar trade without realizing it. And unfortunately, my take profit price at around 26 cents executed. And so I don't have an H-bar trade anymore. I'm kind of frustrated because this was the last, this 1290 here was the last portion of that trade. I cashed out about another $3,000 worth of it. And so used some of that money for the trip and for life and stuff. But then I left about $1,000 in the trade, planning on leaving that in the trade long term, like forever, maybe, another month or two or three, whatever it took for Algorand to get back up to, $1, $2, $3, and it didn't happen. And so I was a little frustrated when I was looking at my phone on the way home and I saw that this Algorand trade was no more. But on the good side, I do have $1,290 here that I can use to put into some new trades. I can ladder down. One of the reasons I'm super sad about that is because that Algorand trade got put in at about 13 cents and its liquidation price was under 13. It was in the 12-cent range. And with Algorand up at 25, 26 cents, I'm a firm believer we're not going to get 50% retracements, I don't think, in the altcoin markets anytime soon. So I really feel like I'm never going to have an opportunity to get any type of a massive low entry like that again. But, 26 cents, if you take a look at a token like H-bar, you know, 25.47 cents. And if we go back out here to say like the 1 year chart, we can see that it's spent a reasonable amount of time, you know, back here in November, December, it spent a lot of time above this 25, 26 cent range. Now, obviously, over the last handful of months here, it's gotten slaughtered. This must have been about when I probably placed this trade. You can see here on April 6th, it was down at 13 cents, and that's probably when I placed the trade. So this trade, April 6th, May 6th, June 6th, July 6th, August 6th, this thing had already been in play for probably about 4 months. I guess there's some possibility. It looks like it dipped down right here too. June 22nd. That might be where I did it. So it might have only been in play for a month and a half. It feels like it was in play for a long time. Anyways, the H-bar trade is over, but let's run over here and take a quick look at, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going back into the chat. Good morning, cruisers. Yeah, I forget, we are the Infinite Crypto Cruisers. I don't say that often enough. That's kind of special, near and dear to my heart, because it took me a solid, I don't know, a few weeks, month or so to come up with, Chico Crypto had his, Chico Army, and, Ben Bitboy had his Bit Squad, and just, I always wanted a little bit of a cool nickname for our community, and it took me a while to come up with it. And part of the reason that I really love the Infinite Crypto Cruisers is because, to me, it exudes wealth and prosperity and success. When I think of cruising, there's a few different ways, but I'm thinking like, hey, I'm usually thinking of like top down on, my Ferrari convertible, or you pop the top off of your Corvette, or you're driving down the street in whatever, your Mustang convertible, your Camaro convertible, whatever, man. But I'm just imagining, cruising down like the Pacific Coast Highway in California with the beach off to my right, the wind blowing through my hair. Yeah, my hair, I love it. All the hair that I got. And but the other cool thing about cruising is you can also think about yachts. You can think about cruise ships and boats that are cruising on the waterway. And then of course it's a little bit less when you think about it, you don't really think about planes as much, but technically, you could be cruising along at 30,000 feet on the jet, headed to your next tropical destination or whatever the case might be. But the other reason that I really love Infinite Crypto Cruisers is because my dad is the one that actually came up with it. There was another gentleman that came up with something pretty similar, and he got the bonus back then. I think I gave whoever came up with the nickname that I used, it was $100 in USDT. And so I gave one of the community members the 100 in USDT because he came up with it, and it was a little bit different. I don't remember exactly what was different, but all I know is that my dad was technically the one that came up with, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. And with him, no longer with us, kind of makes it, even that much more special. So for those of you that are wondering what in the world is happening with the markets, I want to come over here to my buddy, Crypto Lifer Sam Price, and just give you a little insight into his paid group. And let's see what he is thinking here. So he said CPI, this was at 5:28 in the morning. CPI was coming up. He said CPI was flat, a nothing burger to me, bullish, better than bad news. He had a nice little ETH trade in here. Bitcoin 4-hour trade from last night is in the green. All trades are money. No stops got hit if you used my stop areas. Let's see what else I want to get down here. It looks like he's got quite a few more posts. Let me see here. This one doesn't really tell us where he thinks it's going next. Go down here and see what he's. So he's got this chart on Pepe where he's showing, on his charts. It's a little hard to see if you're watching like through a phone, but you kind of see he's got his entries and where he wants to jump into the trade, and then what he feels like is going to happen. So Pepe as a token, he was talking about Litecoin Litecoin is another one that he is looking at here. You can see right now Litecoin is sitting here at around 119 to 120 something. He sees Litecoin running up to about 152. Guys, if you're not listening to Crypto Lifer, I definitely recommend taking a closer look at his channel too, because this taking long, I do not think people realize how big the arrow call is going to be. And then this is a tweet. Aerodrome, we're about to have every token that trades on Aerodrome trading directly on Coinbase. That time has come. Coinbase has now begin rolling out support for Aerodrome on Base. So, guys, we've been talking about Aerodrome for an awfully long time here on this channel. I recommend if you haven't watched this video, you can go back. I know it's a little bit older, but this video happened really a while before the channel kind of exploded. And for the number of what's the word I'm looking for? The number of subscribers that I had at the time that we put this video out. This video, where did it go? Here we go. Aerodrome Finance from about a year ago. It got 6,000 views. This would be a good video for you to go back and take a listen to if you want more information. This was at the old studio. That eagle right there on the right is an eagle it's worth about $1,000, but it's invaluable to me because my dad gave it to me as one of the first eagles in my collection. My dad always collected eagles, and so that was one of the first eagles that he gave. But anyways, Aerodrome, we've been talking about it for over a year, and it's definitely a token that I own some of and that I believe is going to be massive, massive, massive for our portfolio. So if you don't know about Aerodrome, I would definitely take a closer look at Aerodrome. Let me see here. Tim G says, sorry, listening while working. Make sure to hit that like button. Yeah, man. Amen. Hit that like button, folks. And let's see if we can get this stream out to a few more people. So real quick, before I do my thing, I've only got about 5 to 10 minutes left. Does anybody have a token that's on their radar that they're looking to long or short? And do you want me to take a look at anything before I go here into what I was looking at? While I'm kind of waiting. So one of the things that I'm kind of looking at, folks, is over the last week, you can see some massive, massive winners. So like Chainlink is a token that I love to own. I love to hold it. And had you gotten in on it and started trading it, a week ago, or even more, then I would have absolutely loved it. You could see it was all the way down here. This is back in April. You could have got this thing all the way down at, about a $10 price point. So, like Chainlink looks good to me and I love it. I don't know that I would want to be longing it right now. Now, on the flip side, would you want to short it? Well, I don't like to short anything in this kind of a bull market. There are some people out there that are good enough, technically sound enough, that can maybe see small retracements, because in my opinion, we're not going to get like a massive retracement. We're not going to see Bitcoin go down to, 80, 90,000 at this point and see like catastrophic numbers in, even if we do have a retracement. So for me, a short in this market is dangerous because it's very possible that Bitcoin could just continue to rip right up to 130, 135,000. And if you are going to do a short, for me, it would be a very short-term scalp. It would be, I'd be getting in and looking to, get back out in, 10 minutes, a half an hour, 3-4 days at most. I wouldn't be looking at being able to put in a long-term trade and that's what I want to do. I want to get back into some long-term trades. So like if we go to one of my favorite trades to trade here, Polygon, see where Polygon is at. What has it done over the last? So I mean, it's at 24 cents. So you can see here, it's had a nice little 7 days up 13%, but that's a heck of a lot less than 47% like on Avalanche. And you can see here too, it wasn't that long ago that this was a 70-cent token. And if we go out to the max chart here, you can see this token's all-time high peaked at right about $3. But even during the bear market, this peak right here, $1.47, that was in February of 23. It was at a $1.22 in March of 24, so a little over a year ago. And then we've got this peak here where it went to around 70 cents. I just showed you that on the other chart here on December 4th. So to me, Polygon still has a huge amount of room to run. And if we take a quick peek at it here, so it's sitting at 24, a little over 24 cents. So I don't have time to get into all of the math, but I do think that, real quick, the way that I do my stop losses or my ladders is I take 10%. If I'm going to do a 10x trade, then I take 10% of the price of the token and subtract it from the token price. And that gives me a rough idea of where the liquidation would be. So at 24.4, that'd be about 24 or 2.4 cents. So 24.4 minus 2.4 is about 22 cents. So right now, if I were to place a trade on this at 10x leverage, so it looks like everything is set up at 10x leverage on this. Let's just do a little trade here on Polygon, get something in play, because this is one of my favorite tokens. I've been out of this token for a little bit. Let's go ahead and do just a little trade here. What do we got? It's at 24415. So let's go. Man, it's going 24. Let's just do 244 and see what happens. And we're going to just do a little bit. We've got 1,200. So we just like 5% is going to be $50. Let's do, let me see. Now it's popping back up 244. We'll just do 24410 and see if that will execute for us. Okay. Yep. That popped in, ooh, wow. It dipped down crazy fast on us. So showing me my average entry was 23.92. And let's see here. So yeah, our liquidation price is 22.040. So just over 22 cents is our first liquidation price on that. So now if we were to go in and do a ladder on Polygon, from 22, another 10% would take us down under 20 cents. And so if you go back out here and we look at, say, like this 3-month chart, maybe take a look at this 3-month chart. Yeah, during the catastrophe, during the catastrophe, it definitely dipped way down below 20. But if you take a little bit, let's do the 1-year chart. If you take a look at the 1-year chart, and this is 20 cents here. I don't like so you can see on this chart here that for even a big portion of this bear run, it was above 20 cents. There was a time when I really didn't think Polygon was going to go much lower than 20 cents. And so even though from 24 down to under 20 is what, about a 20% retracement. So 20% isn't the safest when you're doing 10x leverage. So one of the other things that you guys could consider doing, if crypto Bullseye was here, he would probably be telling you to take maybe a 3% leverage trade. He would also be the guy to really know the next point of resistance, what this has to get above before we're on a breakout. But I like it right here at this price. And it looks like somebody wanted me to take a look at what did we end up getting in on this one, by the way. So 63 bucks that we got in on this trade. If I was going to go ahead and back this up, so if I wanted to be able to set this and forget it, I would go here to 22, say 25, or wait, I don't need to go that high. It's 22.04. So 22.1 gives me plenty of room. And then I would want to do about double. So I'd want to do, say, about $125. So that's about 10% here of what I've got left of 1226. So I'd go here to about 10%. And I would open along at 22.10. And now that's going to be here in my open orders. We can see that I've got this order at 22100 to back up the initial trade. And it looks like we got about $125 in that trade. So let's go take a look at ICP. Somebody was mentioning ICP. That is one that we have been taking a look at. And then, guys, I am going to have to jump off of here. And then I'm going to be back this afternoon. I got a lot of work to do. As somebody mentioned, we've got some people that won some money on the Infinite AGAPE project, my own project. I don't have a whole lot of time to talk about it right now. But, yeah, I'm excited. I'll get back home and get that all situated and get everybody paid and get the round reset so that we can start nominating the next set of tokens. And so that's awesome. And then somebody mentioned that AGAPE is climbing back up. So I love to hear that. And so Vanish says, ICP still on that 5.5, 5.6 mark. Is it a good place to take a long from that range? So I'm trying to remember. Let's go back over here to CoinGecko here real quick and see where we're sitting compared to. So it's up 10% in the last 7 days. So I would say that it was probably a better trade. If you go back out here. So what 2 weeks ago would have been July 28th or something like that. So if you go back out here to July 28th, yeah, I mean, it was right in this ballpark. It was sitting at right around 545. So it was a little bit lower. And to me, if you do a $5.62 trade with 10x leverage, that gives you 56 cents. So that would take it all the way down to about $5.06. And you can see here that, it dipped down into the fours back here in the early July. But even from that, if you did a one ladder trade at $5.06, that's going to take you all the way down to around $4.50. So I would be very comfortable, taking a trade on this. It was also one of the tokens that didn't do anything super crazy. You can see over the last month, it's only up 2.7%. The last week, it is up about 10%. But compared to a lot of the tokens that we show here where, Ethereum's up 25%. We got, this is also Ethereum, but Dogecoin, 14%, Cardano, 14%, Chainlink, 45%. Hyperliquid, 16%. That's all ETH again. ETH. Everything that's 25% is ETH. Avalanche is up 11%. So I mean, it's 10% here, but you can see there's a lot of tokens. Polkadot's up 15%. Chronos, 25%. Athena, 378 or 37%. Excuse me. Not even sure what Athena actually is. Aave up 24%. So there's a lot of tokens that have outperformed ICP. that are probably that I would be a little bit scarier to jump into. But yeah, I think that ICP is a good one. If you really want to be safe, Anish, throw it in even at 5x leverage. At 5x leverage, you get 20. So you would get 10 times. So 56 doubled would be $1.12. So with $1.12 wiggle room, that takes you all the way down to $4. So like I would say that ICP is a great one to, you know, maybe throw a little bit of a trade at, like with 3x or 5x leverage. If you were going to throw one in at 10x leverage, I would highly recommend laddering probably twice. I would ladder at a little over $5, and then I would ladder at a little over $4.50, and I would get my liquidation all the way down, closing in on about $4 was what I would do if I was going to do this with 10x leverage. If you do it with 5x leverage, you can literally do one ladder trade, because your first, if $1.12 from here, so $1.12 would take it all the way down to $4.50, call it. And then if you do another 5x ladder at $4.50, that gives you 90 cents. That takes you all the way down to $3.60. And if we go back here to the ICP chart, man, time flies. I really got to go, guys. Yeah, so if you look at this chart here, over the last 1 year, like this thing didn't, like $4-ish was about as low as it went. I can't even find it in the $3 range. Like if we go out to the max chart here, well then I mean like this doesn't really count. So, but I mean like literally looking at this chart, I don't see a time. Wait a minute, here we go. Here we go. September of 2023, it was all the way down at around $3 back in 2023, closing in on 2 years ago. So if you get here now, November of 2023, it was $4, and it's basically never went below $4 since November of 2023. So I would feel very comfortable with a trade with 5x leverage and then a ladder at around $4.50 that would get that down to under $4. I think that would be a great way to go. Well, guys, I know that this was a short stream, first day back, but tomorrow we'll have an excellent microcap gem live stream for you at 9 a.m. Looking forward to that. And all sorts of new news and things going on. I'm looking forward to having a little bit more time. Hopefully I can kick it into hyper gear and do a little bit longer stream. We shall see. Some things have changed here around here, including some of the work hours and some of the things that are going on. And so I might be starting the live stream a little bit later. I might be starting it a little bit earlier. I might not be going quite as long. I think in some ways around a 40-minute live stream is probably ideal. I think from what I've seen that when we do like the big long hour and a half, 2 hour long live streams, we do get quite a bit of drop off, and we don't get as much organic view after the fact. So when people are scrolling through their feed on YouTube, trying to find a video that they want to watch, when they see one that's an hour and a half, 2 hours long, a lot of times they skip over it because they got 15, 20, 30 minutes, and they can watch a 40-minute video. They might be able to stretch out, watch a 40-minute video. They might even just decide to watch a 40-minute video in like 2 20-minute segments. But if you bite off an hour and a half video and you're only going to be able to watch 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at a time, a lot of people don't want to do that. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to figure out right now when it comes to the live streams, but we will be back here at 9 a.m. Tomorrow morning. Vanish, you are certainly welcome, man. I hope that is helpful. And folks, I love you all. God bless you all. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Bye-bye for now.